But that's the thing about the bus riders, though. See, as it is, the way stands is, they don't have a voice. Nobody speaks for them. There is no champion. With the cutbacks that are happening, with all these cutbacks, they had no champion, nobody telling it to yell, stop it. With that transit director we had, that I mentioned a while ago, when he was cutting all these routes to save money, who come along to defend the riders? Because as late as 1980, we had as many as 40,000 people a day still riding our transit system. People can't imagine that many. And when I was younger, back when Max was formed, there was 50 and 60,000 people riding. Right. People can't imagine Birmingham with that many riders a day. These are human beings, people. Where'd they go? What happened to them? Right. See, these were people that I knew and saw what happened to them.
Back in the 50s, there were 60,000.
Oh, no, back in the 50s, there was 100,000.
100,000, yeah.
Steel workers took the bus. They would lead people back then would only have one car. The wife would have to take the kids to school or to the doctor or whatever, and the husband would take. I remember seeing them. I knew them at the time, and
yeah.
I remember the lifestyles back in those times. And they would leave the car home with Mom, because remember, it ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Sundays and holidays, all night long. And when they even had 3 shifts out at the different mills, you could take it whenever you wanted, every 15, 20 minutes. You didn't have to worry about being late. If you missed one, you didn't sit down, because by the time you got back down, another bus was coming.
Right.
See, I'm one of those that remembers all that kind of stuff.
Right. And what is the bus rider numbers today?
You mean route numbers?
No, not the routes, but the number of people who ride the bus.
Oh, we're down to about on a good day, you might have between 7,500 and 10,000. That's on a good day. And it has to be a weekday.
Yeah, because it's...
Saturdays, the service is reduced. You don't have as many buses on a Saturday as you do on weekdays, and there's no Sunday service, period.
That's right.
And they don't run past... it gets reduced again at 6 o'clock, and then there's no service after 9 o'clock.
That's during the week?
That's during the weekday, And it's always different on the weekend, because it gets reduced after Friday. On Saturdays, it's reduced even more, and again. And then some of the cities that has weekday service, like Homewood and Mountain Brook, they have no Saturday service. That's our 2 wealthier cities to reduce it even more. It's incredibly regressive.
Yes.
I mean, here I live out in Fairfield, and we get more service than one of the poorer cities gets more service than the wealthier places do. And then the rest of the county, Trussvilles and Gardendales and Forestdales, have never received service. When I was talking about walking to the ballpark, Hoover and Vestavia, again, more 2 cities of higher income. They didn't get any bus service at that time either. And they did start taking transit service a few years later. And they took one route down Highway 31. And it went down Highway 31 every 90 minutes for about 5 years. And lo and behold, if they didn't reduce that service,
What is it now?
It varies. You get it a few runs in the morning, taking people to work. Then they have one run at, I think it's at 2:30. They have one at 10:30. Then they go back at 2:30. Then it goes back at 5:30 during the day. Oh, Lord. You have to be careful, because if you miss that run, you get what you do. You get at our central station downtown. You get the 10:30 bus, and you have to get that one coming back at the Galleria in Hoover at 2:30. Because if you miss that one at 2:30, you have to wait again at, I think, at 5:30 to get back.
And if you miss that one, you're just at the Galleria all night, huh?
You walk back.
Oh, me.
See, but the people that are being mistreated again are the poor people again, that don't have anything anyway.
Right.
And they of course, what they do is they call probably kinfolk or cows. I've watched what they do. They try their best. They'll make arrangements with somebody, kinfolks, before they even leave home, in case something happens. They try for a backup, because most of them have run into the worst. And one of the reasons they arrange for backups already is because of our frequent breakdowns, too. Our system is so raggedy. A lot of them need medical help, and because of the breakdowns, they sometimes have to have help because of that. People don't realize people that need medical help, for example, they might not have their medication with them. And if, say, they need to take medication at 5 o'clock, and bus ain't going to get them back home at 5 o'clock. I mean, they're all right, for example, but they just need to be to a place where they need to get it. And nothing's going to happen to them, for example. They just need to get to where they need to take it.
Right.
But the general population just don't think of those kinds of things, but we know each other, know what each other goes through.
Right.
I hope I'm making sense.
You're making good sense. Making good sense. We're going to keep working as an ally with you for public transit, so we can turn this trend around and get it back where you can meet your basic needs and for recreation and for health care and employment in a much more expanded way with public transit. But it's going to take some major work in Alabama to get it done.
Yeah, the whole state, because that is what I've learned, is how unfriendly the entire state is towards public transportation, and it's not just a county problem, but an entire state.
Now, what do you think? What do you think is at the root of the lack of support or respect for public transit in Alabama?
Our politicians are bought off by the road builders.
Okay.
Pure and simple greed. If you got the dough and the money, and you got some people that's got their hands out, because you take our transit riders, I said they had no voice, they also don't have any money. If they had more money than road builders and could buy their way through life, you think things could change?
Yeah. So we got to build a power base to help them put some of that money in public transit, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Because was mentioning a while ago about the people that knew each other and how they needed maybe just to be at a certain place to get their medication at a certain time, and nobody knows anything about it. I mean, there are untold stories like that.
Yes.
But it's because they're this kind of people. I'm also told earlier that I did things anonymously, and we're just unknown.
Well, it's part of my hope with these video interviews that we'll post that it won't be quite so unknown. People have an opportunity to see them and share them and be encouraged and moved by them to make a difference.
Well, I hope I can help them.
Yeah, and you are doing a great job. I really admire you and respect you, and am encouraged by you. Thank you.